Hello, mathematicians. All right, here we go. We're going to try math lesson number 24. All right, remember this stuff? Long division. It's all coming back to us. Well, at least it will after this lesson. Okay, so we're dividing or sharing, and we have this funky little symbol right here. And just a reminder, so the number at the door, this is how many people you're sharing with. The number inside the little house, that's how many cookies you have to share with the people who are at the door. Sorry, this is how many people to share with. This is what we're sharing. And then the roof, this is the answer, or how many cookies each person gets. Okay, and just remember, when we're reading division, it's a little bit different than how we usually read. We usually read left to right, which you might think would be something like 4 divided by 532. But that doesn't really make sense because you'd have to chop your 4 cookies into some very small pieces. So it's actually backwards from normal reading, unless we use this kind of notation. If we say 532 divided by 4, then that makes more sense. But it's harder for us to figure out the answer, whereas this little division house is going to help us figure out the answer. So even though it's written this way around, we're going to say the number in the house first. So we would say 532 divided by 4. Okay, so we've got 532 cookies that we need to get sharing. So we're going to start out with our good friends, the base 10 blocks. So here we have 532 represented in base 10 blocks. We've got 500s, 3 10s, and 2 1s. And we're going to share them between these 4 people at the door. So I'm just going to sneak those over to the side. And I'm going to put out the plates that we are going to share with. Okay, so we've got 4 plates, 1 for each person at the door. Okay, so the person walks in the door. Sorry about the jiggles. Okay, so the person walks in the door. The first number they get to is the 5, which is also the biggest place value. So we're going to start with the biggest place value, in this case, the hundreds. So I've got 5 of them, and I can start putting them out onto the plate. So you get 1, and you get 1, and you get 1, and you get 1, and uh-oh, I have 1 extra. So I'm just going to just set that aside for the moment. Okay, so Daddy's answer's on the roof. We divided. I had 5 things. I shared them with my 4 friends. Everybody got 1. Now, that used up some of what I've got. So everybody got 1, but there's 4 people who got it. So 1 times 4, we used up 4 of our hundreds here. Okay, so far, if you remember our fishies of division, here we are. Daddy fish divides, mama fish multiplies, sister fish subtracts, and then brother fish brings down. So far we've done daddy fish divides and mama fish multiplies. So next up we're going to sister fish subtract. Okay, so I had 5, I used up 4, 5 minus 4, there's 1 of them left. Okay, next step is, brother fish brings down. So he's going to bring down the next number. Okay, this digit is in the tens place. So I'm going to actually combine my leftover 100 and the tens to do a little bit of math. Right? So I'm going to take this 100 and I'm going to trade it in for 10 10 sticks. Right? Trade it. Equal amounts. We're going to get rid of that. We don't need you anymore. And we've got the other 3 10 sticks that we already had. So now that would be the 13 10 sticks that I've got to share. So again, I can just dole them out one at a time. Everybody gets one. Now everybody gets two. Now everybody gets three. Okay, here we go. Everybody got three, and that is not the right number of 10 sticks. Somebody escaped. Because if you're doing the math at this point, you're saying, hey, Miss Hughes, that's only 12. There's an extra one. Ta-da! Okay, so everybody gets one, and there is one left over. Okay, so, everybody gets three. So the number that they get, Daddy's the fish divides, everybody got 3 cookies. Mama fish multiplies. How many have we used up? So 3 times 4, or 3 times 4, that's 12 that we have used up, 12 of our 10 sticks. Sister fish is going to subtract 13 minus 12. There's one of them left. Okay. All right, well, I can't share this guy all by itself. I've got to change it before I am able to share it. So I'm going to try, again, our trading, and we're going to also add this use this little guy here. So Brotherfish is going to bring this number down. So instead of 1, now I'm going to have 12. Doesn't currently look like 12. Okay, so I've got my 2 little 1 pieces and my 1 leftover 10 piece. I've got to trade this guy in. Okay, so I've got, this time I actually have 10 1 pieces, so I'm going to trade, same amount of stuff. I'm going to get rid of that guy. And now, on my plates, I can pass it out. So everybody gets 1 until we run out. Okay, turns out this time everybody got 3, and I have none left over. So again, Daddy Fish divides, that's the answer that goes up on the roof. Everybody got 3 of those. Mama Fish says multiply. I need to know how many have I used up already. So I've shared out 3, but I did it 4 times. So 3 times 4, I've used up 12 of them. Now I need to see how much is left over, so I'm going to do Sister Fish subtract. And I have nothing left over, right? So this number down here, remember that would be our remainder. If we actually had anything down there, then, and we had nothing left to bring down to help us out, then that would be our remainder. And we would write it up on the roof as part of the answer with a big R for remainder, and then the number beside it. Okay, in this case, it would be our 0. Now, as mathematicians, remember, we are super lazy, so if it's 0, we don't usually write the remainder up there. But we could, if we wanted to. Alrighty, so let's try this again with our multiplication chart, just to remember how that works out. So I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. Okay, so we are going to share this time with 7 people. So we have more cookies for them to share. We are going to share 4,361 cookies. And I'm going to actually move the plates out of the way because I don't have enough cookies in that way. So I'm going to have to figure out the other way of sharing, which is using our multiplication chart. Oh, I hope you're not feeling car sick. This is a little bit wobblier than usual. All right, so here's our multiplication chart. So again, just a reminder, the numbers around the outside that are in the gray, those are the factors, and the numbers on the inside are the multiples. So they're ones that you've multiplied together to get onto the inside. The factors are the numbers you multiply together to get there. Okay. I always like to think of it as also the house. The numbers in the inside, the multiples, look like they're already in a house. So they're going to stay in the house when we go to put them underneath here. Okay, so we start out the 7 walks in the door, the first number he gets is these 4,000s. And so we have to try to share these 4,000s with these 7 people. So the number at the door is who we look under. So we find the 7, and we're going to look under, and we're trying to get as close as possible to 4 without being bigger than 4. In this case, it is not possible. So if we can't share it and nobody gets anything, the number we're going to write on the roof is a 0, because 0 means nobody got anything. We actually couldn't share it. Okay, then Mama multiplies 0 times 7. Anything times 0 is 0. Okay, now it's time to subtract. 4 minus 0, still 4. Last thing we're going to do in this one is brother fish bring down. So now I've got 43 things that I'm ready to share. All right, so we're going to go back to our multiplication chart. Again, we're still looking under the 7. This whole problem, we're going to be looking underneath the 7 because that's what's at the door. So I look under the 7 to get as close to 43 as I can without being bigger. Oop, 49 too big. 42, that's the lucky winner. Okay, so the 42, we can be sneaky, and we know that's going to be the number we're going to write because it's in the house, so that's already our multiplying, so we can write that down ahead of time. And then we go over to the wall, and we get to the 6. So that's how many cookies everybody got if we shared 43 cookies with 7 people. Okay, so that's Daddy Fish Divide's answer. It has to go on the roof. Okay, so 6 times 7, again, that's 6 times 7, this number right here, our 42, so that's written inside the house. Now, Sister Fish is going to see how many are left after we've used 42 of them up. 3 minus 2 is 1. Now we could keep going 4 minus 4 and write the 0, but remember, lazy mathematicians, you don't have to bother. Brother Fish is going to bring down the very next number, and I like to make sure I put these arrows so that I can tell which numbers I've actually used up, which numbers I've shared, and which ones still need to get shared. So the next number I'm going to work on is 16. See how this is much easier than looking for 4,361 on your multiplication chart? Let's just make it little pieces. So looking underneath the 7, as close to 16 as we can without being bigger, because we can't share what we don't have. Here we are, looking under the 7. Oh, too big, back. So we're going to share 14 things. How many things did everybody get if we used up 14? Everybody got 2. So Daddy Fish Divide, his answer goes up here. Everybody got 2. 2 times 7. Oops, sorry. 2 times 7. That gives us the 14. It's going to go inside the house. So now, Sister Fish is going to subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm going to be lazy and not write that. And it's time for Brother Fish to bring down the next number. Okay, next thing I'm going to share, 21. So I look underneath the 7, as close to 21 as I can get without being bigger. Look, I've got exactly 21. I love it. Okay, so we go across. 3 is how many things everybody would get. So we write how many everyone gets up there. 3 times 7 is 21, because we found it in the house, stays in the house. Sister Fish subtracts to make sure there's nothing left. 21 minus 21 is 0. Next up, Brother Fish bring down. We go up. Oh, there's nothing left to bring down. So at this point, once there's nothing left to bring down, now we can check, do we have a remainder? And if we do, we write it up here. And if we don't, then we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's the review of how to do long division. Next up is your homework. So I will have sent your parents an attachment that has the questions for your long division homework. Okay, so they've got a picture that they can either print or bring up on the screen for you so that you can see what the questions are. All right, Have a great time. Happy mathing.